Hi, team. Welcome to the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Coming up, we drill into the details on Knights of the Eternal Throne announcements and trailer that came out this week. But first, some game and AIE Guild news. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 164. Hey, 164, here, take this to keep you busy. It's a bunch of Princess Leia's private email. What? Where did I get it? I got it from WikiLeaks, of course. I got it from WikiLeaks. With me, as always, is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Good. And by the way, that wasn't me laughing at that because that's totally not funny.
Somebody told a dad
yes.
joke. I think it was D.P. Roberts told it. Oh, it was something about elevators and up and down. I don't know. And I just
Oh,
cracked up
yeah,
at the
that
dad
was
joke.
terrible too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I've had a really good week, made so much progress on DVL. We had a fantastic night on Saturday night and did, a bunch of hard mode flashpoints. But before that, I finished all my tacticals, and when I say I mean it takes a village. So many people got together and helped me, grouped with me, and we got through those tacticals. And so many people offered to also, so thank you goes out to everyone. I finished chapter 16 on a DVL character. I only have the PvP section left, and then I'll be finished with the champion level. And then on the eternal level, which is where you get the companion reward, I think all I have left there is to get a pub character to 65, and my pub character is level 50 already. So
Wow.
I'm almost to the companion reward, just so close. And then, the legendary level, I have quite a bit of that done too, because we've been doing hard modes, and I've just been picking things off the list as we go too. So I might even get legendary. We'll see.
We're closing in on it. If we do more of these
Yeah.
hard mode flashpoint nights, that's really the only barrier. Well, that's what I've been doing this week. So that is the only barrier for me. I do have a couple more characters to level up, but I've just sort of been putting it off. And I'm sort of glad that I had been, because we'll talk a little bit in the news about
Yes.
a little bit of bonus for that this week. But besides that, I wanted to clear out anything extra. So today I went and bought that data crown that cost 1 million credits. I got HK51 this week on a character and killed 50 mobs with him. Oh, no, I think I have one more. Yeah, why do I have one GSF match?
Don't tell me you killed 49 mobs. Oh, no,
Oh,
you did
yeah.
one more.
It was funny.
You killed 49 mobs and you're procrastinating the last one.
Yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait till like December 1st or something to do it. It'll be fine.
I still have to do HK51, and I do have a couple of GSF matches left to do.
So I pulled out HK51. I went to Hutta because I just wanted to kill some things really, really quick. So I'm running all over Hutta, just killing mobs, groups of mobs. Some guy whispers me because he got freaked out. He's like, why is there a level 65 just in the middle of Hutta randomly killing everything in sight? So
I bet you were embarrassed then. You should have gone in like SLS or Black Talon or something.
I said, it's because I'm really awesome. You want to duel me, bro? Do you even force lift? Yeah. Also got some hard mode flashpoints knocked out this weekend on my list too. That leaves still about 15 or something to do, but a ton are now checked off. All these green ones are now checked off the list, which I'm pretty happy about. It's really
I'm
cutting down to
actually,
maybe a dozen.
It's been a lot of fun doing the hard modes because some of them have been very challenging
Yeah, we got
for
through
us.
we've gotten through most of the hardest ones now, and yeah, it was a challenge. It was fun. Oh, and it was fun tonight to finish off. I had soloed Eternal Championship, and we went back in and ran a couple people through that tonight as well. And DP Roberts and I, now I remember what happened. So we wiped like 3 or 4 times on like fight number 7. where you have to kill the apprentice and then get his thing and kite the enraged boss through the mine circles that stun her. And
Right.
she'd get to me and she'd hit me for like 3/4 of my health, and I'd die in 2 hits. And it happened again and again. I'm like, what is going on? I guess
And he kept saying, "Oh, I soloed this before."
and I did. I've soloed it multiple times in the past on that DVL character. Well, I wasn't wearing armor.
That does.
As I am becoming increasingly known for. And this time I even had it in my inventory. I transferred it in legacy storage. I had it in my inventory. I just forgot to put it on.
Hadn't
So,
equipped it. Yeah. Yeah.
so we got through that, and in no time after I equipped my armor and our jumped in, and we finished the last 3 fights in like 30 seconds. So that is that. But besides that, I've been having a lot of fun and leveling up characters by running through Black Talon, S-less, and nothing else. So I will continue to do that, and we'll get this done before the end of the month, and we'll tell you that exact date in the news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
So in SWTOR news, we logged in on Tuesday to find a pleasant surprise, which is double XP. So that's on, and it's probably going to go until 11/28 or right up to early access for Knights of the Eternal Throne. So that's helping me level all my DVL characters.
Yes, so all of those of us that have procrastinated in leveling up those characters, the extra classes for DVL, now you get a little bit of a bonus. I was hoping that they would do it. I wasn't, I wouldn't have bet on it, but I was hoping that something like that would happen. So, boy, you stack up that 2x XP with the set bonus of your DVL armor set, and you put a bonus XP boost on top of that, and I was getting 3 to 4 levels out of an S-less run. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I've made my Netflix list for doing S-less runs to level characters to 50.
Let's see, this week we also, of course, heard some news about a little bit of an announcement that is coming up, a little bit of an expansion that's coming out. So we did get the trailer, which dropped early on Friday, and then later on Friday they made the updates to the website to give us full details of the expansion, and a few more details leaked out of the discussion and Q&A that went on in the cantina, and that whole batch of news wrapped up with some clarifications that Eric posted in the forums this week as well in the last day or two. We'll go through all of that in our segment. We're going to dive into that in detail.
And it's DVL itself is intended, at least this iteration of it, is intended to end on November 28th. The decision, however, over which side won, dark side or light side, will be probably finalized a week before that, because they want a week to, I don't know, check their work or something, and be able to deliver the companion, which will be, the light side companion.
Yes, it'll be our Chiss Jedi here. Nothing has changed on the dark versus light percentages on the page. It's still 52.91 to 47.09 dork side. I don't think they're updating it. I don't think they're bothering, but I also don't think there's any way that it will be the dark side companion at this point. So light side, yay!
Go light side.
Go light. In Guild and community news, specifically Guild news, our Soldiers of Light Monday night team, the SOL team, is still going strong, doing a little bit of progression against Dread Fortress now, I think. Although one of their main healers is gotten some real life that's budding into ops time. He is a firefighter, so that's very awesome. But he's going to be pulling some shifts during the ops time that's going to pull him away. If you are a healer and you would like to join a Monday Night Republic ops team on Jedi Covenant, the Soldiers of Light could pull you in.
I would say even if you're DPS, it might be worth checking out just because we can sometimes move things around role wise.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Check in. And Seema, are you continuing to heal on that Monday night team?
Yeah, yes,
Okay, then
that's.
they don't even need another healer. Just bring whatever you want.
My
Seema will
gosh,
single heal
my
the
gosh.
rest of it. And
As
then,
always, come and join us. Oh,
uh, do,
you want to say
you found a new podcast that started up this week, didn't you? Did you want to talk about that for a
right?
second?
Well, I listened to the latest episode of SWTOR podcast, SOTOR, which stands for State of the Old Republic. And yeah, it was very interesting. It was a guy who's it's one guy, he gives the news of the game. He's very, very, he's positive on the game, but he also gives his own view on stuff. So I, I enjoyed it. So you might
Great,
want to check it out. So it's SOTOR podcast.
great. Well, I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm always happy to hear more podcasters, more community, more stuff for
His
all of
name is
us
Ted,
to
by the way.
consume. Ted. All right,
Yeah, Ted.
I'll have to check it out and catch Ted. So recommend everyone out there go and catch some Ted in the SOTOR podcast. And then yes, I interrupted the obscure, never heard before mechanism
Because I
for
jumped in too
joining
soon.
a
Yes.
AIE as a guild.
If you would like to come and join us, everybody's invited. Um, just come to Jedi Covenant, join a channel called AIE LFO, and ask for an invite. If you want to find out more about the guild in general, you can look at our website at aie-guild.org. And yeah, we'd love to have you.
We would love to have you. And now,
Wait, before we leave guild news, I do want to say, like, next week on MFM, we are planning to hit Karaga's Palace, start with it. So if you need Karaga for DVL, next Tuesday night is the night not to miss.
yes, we have a couple people. We did a little survey in the forums. We have a couple people that do need some of those ops bosses. Most of people have checked them off their list, but we will run through all the way through Karaga because that's the only one that we have to run all the way through to the end. We will do that next week, 8 p.m. Central on Tuesday night with the Imperial side. Thanks to the chat room. You guys are great. There's some side discussion going on in there. And we'll be catching up with you guys after the show as well. But now let's check a little bit of this out. And that is the little bit of the beginning sound effects. I was trying to find some dialogue out of the trailer, but there's barely any. Senya just
there's
says
like,
a couple things.
Me.
Yeah, stand behind me,
says,
and then
do it again.
Yeah.
And Valen, I think they're just like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's only I put a lot of work into the script. I want to say I wrote the dialogue, which all three words of it.
So believable. Wow, I love this trailer. I mean, I know I'm not the only one, but gosh.
Yeah.
I watched it many times.
So it came out early on Tuesday. Well, they had been leaking little couple-second clips for the past week. And when they leaked the last set, which showed part of that scene in the rain on the bridge that we get to see where Senya goes and fights the guards when she's trying to break Valen out.
Right.
That's just a spectacular scene. I knew at that point, and just seeing that the trailer was going to be awesome. And yeah, I think it's universally agreed that Blur does an excellent job, and we all wouldn't mind a full movie of just this stuff.
Right. Somebody said in Discord that this trailer was better than the Warcraft movie. Or was that you that said that? But yeah, this trailer is better than the whole Warcraft movie.
Well, that's a side discussion we don't need to get into. I like the Warcraft movie. but I'm, I've played Warcraft in the past, and
No,
I'm a
I
Warcraft fan.
yeah,
But
I
it
don't
gets a
think
lot
that.
of.
I'm not saying it was bad, and I haven't seen it, but it's just
Mhm.
a
Yeah,
comment that this is
yeah,
so good. It's better than a Hollywood movie,
yeah.
basically.
But yeah, it. I think the rendering and the graphics is really really cool looking. I think the story that they tell, the story that they show and don't tell, is done really well. There's a couple pieces where
Yeah.
we have the opportunity afterwards to ask questions or think that it didn't come out exactly as we thought, or there's a bit of confusion. Maybe we'll talk about a couple of those things, but overall as a package, yeah, I watched it many times. We were saying there's 2 million views on the video already. Yeah, and it's probably maybe 10,000 were me alone. So, oh, DP Roberts, remind me to follow up on that question after the show about if they jumped when they went through portals in the Warcraft movie, because we talked about that earlier in the week.
So I guess in that original teaser picture, where you said it wasn't Valen and it wasn't Senya.
Yeah, are you?
Perhaps
You've been waiting.
you were incorrect.
I was totally incorrect, and everybody who thought it was, oh, okay, but here's the thing, I was totally incorrect, and I'll own up to that. But why are all these people now that are saying that the final battle here is not Valen? I get that her teenage face with the head with the cowl on and stuff doesn't look very much like her, but it's obviously meant to be Valen, and it's obviously Valen. But yeah, it was not. I was wrong. I will admit that.
Well, we were talking about this before. I think Senya in this trailer looks a lot more like Senya than this chick that you're showing right now looks like Valen.
I agree. Although she looks like a very young Senya. And
she does look like a very young Senya.
The Senya we have in current, and this is a trailer for something that happened a long time ago. This is Senya when she was probably late 30s, and this is Valen when Valen was probably 18. So
yeah.
And now Valen's probably in her 30s,
right.
in the game, or so it's a while ago.
But I'm saying they both have aged the same amount of time, but Senya looks a lot more like Senya than this character looks like Valen. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. And they probably even could have tried to get closer. I don't know why they made the model of Valen's face so different than sort of how she's come out in the game. Granted, she's got a lot more makeup on in her current game, and you can't see her forehead here, and you can't see her hair, and her nose even looks different. But we all know it's Valen because when she walks in, as she's walking through the gate, you can see the tattoos on her arms, and that's sort of the connection.
Right, and Senya's reaction and everything.
Yeah. But I think so. My view of it is, and the story that they tell, which not everybody agrees on necessarily, but is that Senya was sort of protecting Valen when she was really young, somewhat hiding her force abilities. That's why when Valen in the very beginning has the little wooden toy that was carved out of the branch, and she's force levitating it, Senya grabs her and goes, "Oh, no, don't do it," and puts her hand on it. Always carry it. And then when Valen shows off or releases her or demonstrates the extent of her force powers in the arena, and Valkorion sees it, then Valkorion basically takes over and he says, "Nope, she's mine now. She's now I have an interest. I didn't care before, but now she's my apprentice, and I'm taking her away." So then he takes her into the temple, and Senya basically has no choice. She doesn't really fight at that point, which is another point of contention. But he takes her away, and she has no choice and lets her go. And my view is that's a completion. What happens in the temple is a completion of turning Valen to the dark side, turning her against her mother. She falls to the dark side, even though there's supposedly they don't do the Sith Jedi thing in Zakul, but there's still a dark side and light side to the Force. She falls completely to the dark side, and that's why when Senya goes back to rescue her, she's like, nope, no way. I'm turned against you. I'm with Valkorion now. This is my deal. You're no longer part of my life. And now I blame you for all the things that were probably told to me about why I'm now should hate you, and now that I'm dark side. And that's what leads to the
I know
battle at
you're
the
not
end.
going to agree with me on this, but I don't think Valen would ever kill Senya because she's had so many opportunities and she didn't do it. I know in that we had that scene at the end of Coffee where, well, I guess that would be a spoiler. But yeah, I mean, there's the fight between the two of them, and Senya is clearly the winner, but she lets Valen go. But I think Valen could just easily kill Senya. And I think all her protestations of, I hate Mother, I'm going to kill Mother, are just that. They're protestations, but I don't think she ever will or would.
See, I don't know that Senya is all that much more all that much weaker than Valen. In my view, Valen seems really powerful because she's a Sork, and Senya, but Senya is a guardian. I mean, Senya takes out 6 of those, 6 armed, force trained, of those wicked looking knight dudes, and just plows through them and takes them apart.
Right. No, I think Senya is very strong.
And Senya beat, she beat Valen a little, at least part of the way in that duel on that when we take the gravestone in for repairs.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm arguing that Valen let that happen.
Oh. Valen does seem really, really strong. Valen rips up big chunks of the deck. Valen throws cars at you and things like that. So
I think she's conflicted. I think she's a troubled young lady.
But then so is Senya.
Yeah, Senya is very troubled.
And the subtitle of Senya being the Lady of Sorrows certainly fits. She's definitely had a rough time, and some of the things that happen at the end of Knights of the Fallen Empire. Anybody who, I know a lot of people, feel like Senya betrayed us, and they'll throw Senya on an airlock. I don't. I cut Senya all the slack in the world, given given where she's at and what she's done, and the whole Lady of Sorrows thing. She has sort of justified in what she did at the end of Fallen Empire, in my view.
Well, yeah, and also I think our goals and her goals are the same.
Yeah.
We want to
exactly. I don't think
save the galaxy from the Eternal Empire. Just because she's doesn't want Archon to die doesn't mean she's changed that.
Right. Exactly. So awesome trailer, and fun stuff to talk about. Young Valen was cute little kid. Young Senya is just as cool looking as old Senya. Senya is one of my favorite characters in the game right now. I'm sort of mad that she's not in my companion list at this particular moment on my main.
But what is with all the fire at the end?
I think that was just an effect. Whatever battle left a bunch of flammable liquid on the ground, and Valen decided that she was just going to ignite it to make the whole scene more dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, not very forcey.
She just sparked some lightning off her hands and lit the flames on fire, and I think that was so you could see her and you could see the battle. Otherwise, it would have been too dark, or they would have had to
the scope of it. Yeah.
So let's talk about the news. SWTOR.com/eternal-throne/home, or if you just go to the site, I think it's the thing that comes up, is all full of details, at least what we know so far, talking about the expansion. So first thing off, pre-order rewards. You want to walk us through those, Seema? One of the things I'm most anticipating.
Yes. If you're subscribed as of October 25th, then you get Shay Vizsla as a companion, which actually of all these I think is the coolest thing.
Yep.
I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, when we got to Rishi, I had said at that point, I wish Shay Vizsla was one of our companions. I wish we could have got her as a companion. I was saying it back then. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just adding her to the, as cool. Right now, one of my other favorite companions still is Nico Okar.
I like Nico, yeah.
Those original trailers were just really, really good as well. And to get Shay Vizsla out of that means we got to get Malgus. Malgus has got to come back in some sort of way. Not necessarily as companion, but he was just such a great part of the launch of the game.
That's who.
And Jace Malcolm, yeah, I forgot. So yeah,
If you're subscribed, yes.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, what are the rest of them?
If you're subscribed as of November 27th, you get a Rapid Recon Walker mount. So that's yes, it's a Walker mount. So if you don't have a Walker mount already, then that's one way of getting those. And then I think this means if you're subscribed from 10/25 to 11/27, you get the early access. So there's going to be 3 days of early access.
Yes.
So early access is 11/29, November 29th, and then the release is December 2.
Absolutely. And you do need, in theory, to be subscribed between those dates continuously from 10/25 to 11/27 to get the early access. Yeah. The other two, it was just said you need to be subscribed on that day.
Right.
And I was only interrupting because I was going to make some comment about how Shay Vizsla is the baddest Woe Mandalorian in the game.
Whoa, Mandalorian! Oh my gosh,
She's
yes.
a Mandalorian.
Yeah, she's a rough fight on hard mode in that flashpoint on Rishi.
Blood Hunt, yeah, she's tough. She is tough. Jerkadeer! What is it? She keeps yelling those Mandalorian
She
things.
doesn't say that, but yeah.
Jate! That's what she says. Jate!
Right before you die.
Then they go through and they talk about some of the features that they're adding into the game in the expansion. So some of the things we have to look forward to. They say your personal Star Wars story. So we know there's going to be story that continues. And they confirmed in some of the Q&A that you're getting 9 chapters. They said in the Q&A also that the 9 chapters are going to come out in a chunk. I don't think it was confirmed that it's all 9 chapters necessarily on December 2nd. That was my initial impression. But someone else from the Q&A made it sound like that it might be 2 chunks, but it's not going to be 1 per month. They're going to sort of move away from the 1 per month episodes.
But Eric, in his post clarifying, he says all 9 chapters are being released with the Eternal Thrones launch.
Yeah. The Ben Irving quote secondhand from the Cantina was something about how they were sort of leaning back towards binge content, binge watching, the Netflix model, rather than the episodes, that they figured that fits more with what they want to do and what players really want. I don't know. I sort of like the ones per month.
Yes, I like the ones per month too, but I like the binge model too, and I think I might even play it more with the binge model because I think the story for me personally will be more compelling if I can play it closer together. I might not sit down and do the whole 9 chapters, but I mean closer together, because what happens with me is after a month goes by, the story starts up and I'm like, why are we on the gravestone?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Good point.
We were in the swamp before, and then we got those people on. Oh, yeah, we're trying to find, so I'm sure not everyone is as bad about that as I am. But in that month, though, I've watched, XYZ movies, read this many books, there's a lot of story going on up here.
Right. Right. I agree. Maybe it's more that I think it's fun for us on the podcast to have something new coming up with every month.
It's
So,
true.
but
Fun as
certainly from a story
necessary.
perspective, it's much nicer. You don't have to even play them all at once, but being able to go through it at your pace and get back to the story when you want to hear the rest of the
Yeah,
story. And you're
yeah.
right, that does make a lot of sense. Let's see what else. What is this dark side
So
versus
we're
light
gonna.
side choices?
Well, I mean, I was not shocked to hear that they're kind of carrying forward the dark versus light sort of idea. It's going to be in a different iteration, but I kind of picture it that they're going to still keep track of dark versus light through our choices in the game, but there's going to be different effects that happen. Like they said, they made the comment that if a planet goes too far, I mean, as yeah, server goes too far to the dark side, that there might be like a invasion of Sith Lords that show up, that the population of that server then will have to fight back. Or maybe
Right.
that's when the light side the light side gets too weak. Yeah, the dark side gets too strong. So, that could be fun. It kind of depends on how it's, for me, it depends on how it's implemented, right? So if you have to be in a group and it has to be tagged by certain people, then I just see it as another world boss thing that, and I don't really like that model so well.
Driving a little bit of dynamic content that way, that does sound interesting though. You're right. I don't
Yeah.
they haven't given very many details on what it's going to be, and I do hope they do something so it's not just, like Jedi Covenant goes, light 5 and stays there forever, because then it's not
Yeah.
dynamic. What
Yeah.
either
Right.
that or some incentive for things to push it back in the other direction, or I mean, but am I going to want to then do dark side things to push the server for whatever reason? I don't know. We'll have to see what they do, but they're doing something. They're sort of keeping that dark versus light thing at a galaxy level. This drives the galaxy closer to the light or dark side of the force. So I think it's
So
server per server, but
in chat, Zen just said who was at the cantina. He just said that DVL will be tracked through specific activities, not conversation choices.
oh, okay.
So that's kind of interesting. I don't know what this activities will be though.
That's also weird that although I guess that could be okay. Like
Maybe what you do
if you
in
clear
in
Dread
the up.
Fortress, it actually drives the server closer to the dark side because the dark side is trying to fight back against so much light side activity, or it's something like that, rather than you doing dark side things makes it dark. So if everybody just is good or making light side choices, it would never get dark.
Right, right.
And
Well, that's one of those
then
things we'll find out more about because they did say that there's going to be blog posts about some of these things coming up.
right, absolutely. They So one of the next things that's on the list is the whole galactic command thing, and I think that's going to be some of the first set of blog posts that Eric talked about that they're going to be putting together. The Alliance sounds like it's going to evolve into something called Galactic Command, and then Galactic Command is going to have sort of new activities and stuff associated with sort of growing your Galactic Command. So it sounds like another, sort of how right now with your Alliance you at least have the base commanders and you can level those guys up. I'm envisioning something more where the whole Galactic Command itself, it sounds like, is you're able to affect it. You grow your influence with your Galactic Command. So we'll just have to see. But then all of that goes up through level 7. And so here's where they didn't really say it, except just in the comment here. They didn't make a big announcement, but they are explicit that this does go from level 65 up to level 70.
Right. There will be 5 new levels and 2 new planets.
Oh, where do they say
But
that? Maybe I skipped over that.
in the first part, the Step into Your Own Star Wars story, it does say 5 new
Oh,
levels
there,
and 2
right. Okay,
planets.
they did say it right there.
But
If I could
yeah,
only read,
so
it would help.
this is interesting to me because, well, I mean, they also say unlock the most powerful rewards. So if you get, like, right now in ops, you get level 65 gear, right? So if there's no ops at launch, does that mean the ops we know are still going to be level 65 and this gear will be better than ops gear? That's how
Hmm.
I read it anyway.
Good question. I don't
If
know.
they,
Huh.
I think if they raise the level of the current ops to level 70 and then that's where the best gear is, I think I'll just tear my hair out.
Huh.
I kind of like the idea of the
Hmm.
best gear coming from this new thing, whatever it is,
Yeah,
whatever
we'll
it,
have to get some
whatever it turns out to
clarification on
be.
that, obviously,
Yeah.
from the blog posts. Um, they do say you start at level 65. They also said that it was in a couple places it showed up. You will be getting a character a character boost token. That's part of it.
Oh, so
Under
Zen says they did say that all ops should be scaled to 70. I did
I
not see
don't
that in
think they
the
said
notes.
that. I don't.
Well,
Did they
at least it's not in
did they
whatever
say that
notes
in
we have access
at the
to.
cantina? So one thing we need to be careful about, there is like some data mining that's been going on. So I don't know. So if we've gotten and some of that stuff is tentative and some of that stuff is stuff we haven't seen yet. If they said that at the cantina, that's interesting. This is so, and this gets to, you know, one of the things we've said in the past, which is I love that the idea that they do the cantinas. The cantinas are really cool. I've been to one myself. I certainly want them to keep doing that. They gotta stream it or something, though.
Yeah,
You know, so here Zen is saying that yes, they did say that at the cantinas. So all ops being scaled to 70, that's a big piece of news. It hasn't
that is a
shown up
big piece of
anywhere
news.
else. Now, you know, so Zen was there at the cantina and heard that from them there at the cantina. So how could they leave out an announcement like that and just, you know, just expect that they can tell, you know, the handful of people that can actually go physically to a cantina and not tell the rest of the player base. They
Especially
need
when the people at the cantina are just saying, tell us everything you can about ops. I mean,
right,
they know that ops is a giant red button.
right. Okay. So if this is news coming out of the cantina, ops are scaled up to 70. That's something that hopefully we'll hear confirmed in detail in a blog post really soon, because you can't just let it leak in a cantina and not actually talk about it or say what that means. And even if they are scaled up to level 70, what does that do with the gear that drops? So what gear is going to be dropping in ops versus what gear is going to be dropping in uprisings? Tell me what uprisings are, Seema.
Okay. Yeah, so join with up to 3 allies in erupting action-packed battles that confront the galaxy's most notorious adversaries, rising to challenge your influence in the Galactic Command. I kind of feel like there's a relationship between the Galactic Command and the new uprising that we don't quite understand yet, but maybe things that happen with Galactic Command control which uprisings are available from week to week or something like that. But an uprising sounds like basically um, a flashpoint, but they're not calling it a flashpoint, so I'm expecting it to have some qualities that are different.
Right. So this is certainly the group content that they've been talking about. The whole up to 4 makes it sound to me like they'll have like a story mode, like a solo mode, but I don't know if we've seen that confirmed yet. And then it also sounded like they would be doing, well, they certainly say with the chapters, which is the next thing we'll talk about, that comes in Story Hard Nightmare style modes. I thought we saw somewhere from them that it would be with these uprisings as well, but I don't see it confirmed here, so that'd be good to hear too. It would be great to, again, I think they do get the feeling they certainly are responding to it with the chapter story levels, the idea that people do want hard content. So that's the last thing on the list here, which is play your way. Choose to play any story chapter or battle. Okay, it says or battle. Maybe that's the confirmation. So any story, chapter, or battle in 3 new challenge levels. I don't know why they say 3 new challenge levels. Because it's the same that they have now. Story, veteran, or master, which is completely different than story, hard mode, and nightmare mode.
Right. Yeah. I have mixed emotions about this because seriously, the fights in the story don't have anything to them for 90% of the time. So veteran and master mode are just going to mean what? More HP and they hit harder, so it's just going to be more tedious. So if it was like a boss fight with, you know, mechanics, then yes, I can see wanting to do it at a higher challenge. But just
Yeah,
more health, I don't get the appeal. Not
I
for
would
me
agree.
anyway.
So it would be great if they're adding new mechanics in. If they're not, then this sort of, I think it sort of addresses, but I think it's also going to miss the mark, as you were saying. It sort of addresses people saying that, wow, this stuff is easy mode. It's way too easy. Go through the story mode and never fear for my life ever again. I get that people think that's not the way you want to feel like you're going through an epic
Right.
story. So this is a way to tune it up a little bit. Maybe it's still not very complicated. But if things got really hard and you had to start CCing things and
Yeah,
doing some some companion management and being careful how you approached a room and not running into the middle of
that's
mobs,
true.
and
Yeah,
that
that's a good point.
adds a whole dynamic to it. That whereas we were going through Hammer Station Tactical today and just running into everything and going, should we cease it? No, just you won't be able to do that anymore. It does certainly address people. It at least addresses in some way people saying stuff is too easy. So there'll be an easy mode and there'll be a hard mode. And why they had to go with story, veteran, and master, that doesn't make sense to me versus story, hard, or nightmare.
Which is kind of a segue into the whole premium thing. It's like why
That's the other,
they
yeah.
had to change. The next thing we were just going to talk about was,
Yeah.
premium. If you're premium, you get access. So, yes, I guess subscriber wasn't descriptive enough. So now subscriber is now called premium.
Which I think is also ridiculous. Because everybody knows what subscriber means. If you're a subscriber, it means you're subscribed.
It's like saying
Nobody knows
now,
what premium is, and nobody will know what premium is. And the way you're going to have to describe premium from here on for forever is it means subscribed.
yeah. I have to say, since we don't know why they did it because they just haven't told us, maybe there's a reason. I don't know, but yeah,
Okay.
it's like saying
So
now
yes,
we're never gonna say 2 o'clock again. We're just changing that to T o'clock.
I think I can imagine reasons for it. Like maybe there's a way to be premium without actually subscribing. Maybe there's a way to, like, if they were
Yeah.
going to add an in-game purchasable token trading system like a few games have, where I could buy a 1 month premium token and boost myself to premium, or maybe I could buy a lifetime premium boost in some way. Okay, so maybe there's some way. I, there, I don't think they're going to do that though.
Maybe, I mean, that's very creative. I mean, I think someone there just thought that premium sounded more luxe.
What if you could pay $150 and never subscribe but be permanently premium? Would you do it? Basically a lifetime subscription.
Wait, say that again. How much do I pay to do that?
I don't know how much. What's the most you would pay to get a lifetime subscription?
$1 million. No, I have no idea really.
I would probably
Especially, I
go a
mean,
couple $100.
yeah. I was talking to Gamer Bear on the weekend, who's one of our new guildies, and he mentioned to me that he has lifetime subscriptions to several games like Lotro, um, and a couple other games that do have that as available. And I thought it sounded kind of cool to have that. I
So
don't know.
Lotro had it back at launch, and then they took it away. You know, they had lifetime subscription, and then it went away, and I don't think they brought it back. When I played Lotro a bit, and I haven't really played it since, but even if I've always thought that any game that does have some of that lifetime subscription, if it's one of these major MMOs that I could always go back to, that'd be interesting. I would think hard about it. So yeah. Anyway, that's only random speculation.
Yeah.
But premium is the new word for subscribed. So, and also don't be confused about pre-order now. There is no pre-order. It's just be subscribed. Again,
Yeah.
I don't know why they did this. Pre-order. Here's the pre-order now button. If you're subscribed, be a premium player on October 25th, which means be subscribed on October 25th. You get Shea Vizsla. Be subscribed on November 27th. You get the Recon Walker. So there's no pre-ordering. There's no anything different than being subscribed to being premium. This is just it. These are the things you need to do. And under this detail on the premium is where they do say you will be getting a free high-level character to start your adventure, one per subscribed to SWTOR account. There was also...
And I'm guessing that'll be level 65.
I am guessing that as well, although they didn't confirm that. They did, in the terms and conditions, they did have a note way down here as well that said that if you have unused advanced character tokens in inventory starting November 29th, those can also be used to play Knights of the Eternal Throne. So what I'm wondering there is if your boost to 60 token will become a boost to 65 on November 29th.
They sound like it. Like, why would they even mention it if,
right.
It's just very confusing.
Right. So there's that, and then they wrap up their content with a couple things that I thought were, one that I thought was only okay, and one that I thought was a bad idea. One that's only okay is the cast of characters little section of the site, which didn't even have everybody for one. For two, it has like Thexan really called out here. You can click on him though and get the detail, and says, oh yeah, Thexan, basically showed up in the cutscene and didn't live to be part of the story. So I don't know why he's part of the cast of characters, and I don't know why, for better or for worse, T7's really cool, but is T7 really?
I think Thexan is part of the cast of characters is because that event where he dies drives so much of Arkan and Valen and what they do and how they see the world.
I guess. But that happens, it's part of...
the gameplay starts. I get
and
you.
he's never in the game. He's in the cutscenes.
His armor is. That would be funny. Cast of characters. Thexan's armor.
Oh, which reminds me, did you notice in the trailer when Senya activates her lightsaber, how the back end of it ratchets out before it ignites? I really like that.
No, I did not notice that.
When she's on the bridge and she ignites her lightsaber, you'll have to notice take note of that for one, and for two. She battles with her lightsaber off half of that fight. She activates it and deactivates it constantly throughout that fight, which I thought was also very interesting. So that is that. And then the part which I don't like, and I'm going to take off the screen now, which I don't even want to look at, is they describe each of the 9 chapters. They give you the title of the chapter, and they give you a little subtext, like a 2-sentence description of the chapter. So get that off of there. That seems spoilery to me. I never like hearing descriptions of chapters in stories when I read novels. We were joking about this in the pre-show. Chapter 33, where you find out Rosebud is the sled, subtitle. What?
Right.
Chapter 34, when you realize Bruce Willis was dead all the time. What? Why did I read the table of contents? Damn you, table of contents. So you can give away way too much by reading those kinds of descriptions. So I would recommend. I'm not even going to look at them. I'm going to avert my eyes.
The one thing I did like about seeing them is it gave me a sense of faith that it is a real story and it's all laid out and it does have a direction.
Yeah.
But I agree with you
Yep.
that I didn't read the little blurbs under each one.
Yeah. Other than that, you can look around. We've talked about it throughout this, but Eric did have a post up in the dev tracker. He posted on the forums that answered a couple questions that people had followed up on in the forums. So we did mention the exact dates. We did mention the clarifications on group content, that all 9 chapters are being released. He put that in his notes. And another source of content that was nice that we got it, in addition to Zen in the chat room, who was at the cantina, which is the best we can do is just hear from people that were at the cantina. Christina Petrarca live tweeted while she was at the cantina a series of tweets that talked about some of the things that were being discussed in the Q&A. That is all captured on Delphi's website if you want to see Christina's take on some of the notes that happened.
Yeah, she tweeted quite a bit, and there was a lot of info that she generously shared with the public.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was pretty cool as well. And I guess to sum it up, Seema, are you looking forward to the new expansion?
I'm looking forward to the blog posts because I really want to know more. And I'm looking forward to the story, the continuation of the story. But I really want to know more about the uprisings and the Galactic Command.
I agree. Completely agree. That'll make or break what happens between now and January or March or whenever we would get that additional content that they're.
I mean, they might be fun.
Promising.
If it's another version of something like Conquest where it has us, or like DVL where it's just a lot of work and effort, and I don't know. I've had a lot of fun with DVL too. And all you get's an achievement
and a title. Yeah, but all true. I mean, DVL has carried us through the summer. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I agree. It would be nice if it's something compelling that carries the game through, and but yeah.
I'll be happy.
I do want operations though. I agree. But I'm looking forward to the trailer was enough to hype me up to want to see the rest of the story at least. And then I'll actually be glad to be done with the Eternal Empire and be done with Sakul.
I mean, I kind of feel like it's not fair to say this, but I was I hadn't thought about ops with respect to the level 70 thing. But for a second before I heard that the ops were going to be level 70, I kind of thought, well, that'll be fun because then we can take some people through, when they get to level 70, we can take them through some ops that are level 65 like we used to do.
Carry them and like overpower. It was fun to overpower some of those ops.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
It was.
It was pretty fun. People doing like Eternity Vault with 2 people and that kind of thing, and making videos of that stuff. You're right.
Yeah.
But keeping it relevant has not been bad either. We do our mandatory fun nights and we run ops relatively regularly, and we've got ops teams that are doing progression in hard modes still. I was on the fleet today, and there I saw an advertisement in general chat on the fleet that said, "Hey, we're a hardcore hard mode progression ops team returning to the game. We need a full-time whatever, full-time DPS or whatever they asked for. PM me to apply." Okay, well, people are still doing that content, so that's fine. Good for them. I want new ones. All right. So I think with that, our little 164 droid is ready to head out here. Thanks to all of you for joining us on newoverlords.com, iTunes, YouTube, or live on Twitch. We will stream again next Tuesday night on twitch.tv/newoverlords around 10:30 p.m. Central. Please follow us on Twitter at MaxTheGray and at AIESEMA. Please subscribe on YouTube and come find us on Jedi Covenant and ask us for an AIE Guild invite. We would love to have you. And we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.